waiting. Hey guys, good to see you up in the bleaky. Seconds or 10 seconds?
10 seconds.
There we go.
Yes.
5 seconds. Here we go. Look up.
Yeah, I'm looking down. That's the way I normally do. God bless you. God bless you. God bless every one of you. Listen, I am Pastor J.E. Sturtevant. I'm Pastor Faith United Ministries. And yes, you have tuned into Back to Basics, Eyes of Faith, radio broadcast. And you know how we're feeling. This is the day that the Lord has made. We are rejoicing. And we are extremely glad in it. Now, you know, for you to have had a sore throat, you was holding that note kind of long right there.
No, the Lord reverses.
Wait a minute.
Reversible.
Wait a minute. Come on. Wait a minute. And your face is beat, your lips are popping.
You know, that's what happens when you kind of, you recover.
Got your eyelashes on?
There you go.
I'm through. Got the hat tilted to the side. You know, when I tilt my hat to the side, it means that's the eye that was running, and I don't want you all to see. That's the eye that was running.
See, this is where my hair is not fully done, so I just give you all
Wait a
full
minute.
hat
There
coverage.
you go. There you go.
Full hat coverage.
Well, listen, you can tell we are live. We are here.
Yeah.
We're excited about being here. And, you know, listen, we're always grateful to be coming in. And
Absolutely.
you all have survived the snow.
The storm.
You know, the blizzard or whatever, you know, you all have survived it. And listen,
You know,
I hope that,
hold on,
wait a minute.
I don't know if you know what Greg O'Quinn's song was.
I Told the Storm.
I told
Don't sing it though. And it's more than a couple of years ago.
A few years ago.
Yeah, like about 10 or so.
Right.
Yeah, but don't sing it.
Storm
No.
came
Wait a minute.
last-
That's a good song.
No. But your voice.
Away.
No, but your voice. Don't do
I
it.
command
Wait a minute. Don't do that.
you
Don't do that.
to
Don't do that.
move
Don't do
to
that. Don't do that one. Don't do that one.
We told the
You
storm
know.
and it passed.
Have you? But have you noticed that everybody can say, nobody can say, for your glory, I will do. Can I get that to C, please?
Right, to C.
Put that. That's that C. For, I know, baby. I have that perfect pitch.
Right.
For your glory.
Hey.
Listen. Listen. There's my nephew, Jeremiah Hicks.
Oh, man.
Jeremiah Hicks is on. Jeremiah,
Oh, man.
I'm trying to sing it. For your glory, I will do. Wait a minute, is that C?
No.
For not Carlton Banks.
Right, no.
Had Lil Lily. Lil Lily took some keys and shaking
Exactly,
the keys.
it's just-
Just shaking the keys. And just pick a key.
Right. Any
Pick
key
a
you desire.
Any key you want to use. Let's go there. Oh my gosh.
Oh, man.
And then my nephew Kevon Carter, he
Oh,
messed
man.
around and did a thing, having the song coming to talk.
Right.
You know. So.
Yeah. These comedians, they play too much.
See,
They
Jeremiah,
play too much.
Jeremiah, why can't anybody find the key for that song? What is it about that song
It's difficult.
that makes it so difficult?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
happened?
yeah.
But you know,
He needs to come and show them.
Jeremiah, you
Please.
need to go on and just do a video and say,
Yeah.
here's how it's supposed to be
Right,
sung.
right,
Here's the way
right.
we're supposed to do it. This is unless you say sign pastor. Not that.
Oh,
Listen,
man.
I'm happy to be here.
We're
Got my
excited.
co-host
excited.
here.
We're
Would you
excited.
please, Steph the Best, greet the people, please?
Hey!
Wait a minute. Steph the Best.
She matching-
.net,
yeah,
matching her
.org,
box.
.com,
I am a
box
little
of
bit.
dots, .edu, .llc.
LLC.
Matching the box.
Yes.
She's like, me in the box. And you all can't see the pants because she's got red roses on the pants that look like it could be dots.
She brought the sunshine.
Greet
after
the people,
storm.
Steph.
Hey, good morning, WBGR, Facebook, YouTube, what's up?
Uh-huh.
I'm excited. You know what? I'm fasting today.
Come on now.
We
And,
are.
you know,
We're in this right
we're
now.
in it, and I'm loving it. I'm still having these great expectations. Yes, we did have a couple days in between, but I'm right back on it. Like
We
I
gotta
never was
do
off
it.
of it, and I'm excited. I hope you guys joined in on the fast because it was definitely needed.
That thing.
I just feel like this whole year, this month, this week, this hour, everything is gonna be great for
We
me.
done
I'm
set the
excited.
stage for it. We set
Yes,
the
like
stage.
I did, and my expectations are up there. And on Sunday, you know, we didn't have church, but I did tune into the Facebook, and Pastor, that message was off the chain.
You're built for this.
Yes,
sought
I
the
am
Lord.
built for
He
this.
sought the Lord.
Oh, no. I
Oh,
went,
you
I
sought the
went
Lord.
before the Lord.
Yeah. That
I
was
hope you
on.
guys saw that. If not, go back on his Facebook and watch that message.
Did you break down what an eagle?
Come on.
Did you-
Come
did you-
on.
did you do
I'm just trying to.
everything?
That's why they ain't buy my book, because they would have seen that in the front of my book. They would have seen it in front of my book, Learning the Sword. I talked about what the eagle does and everything, but they ain't had a book.
They had a book.
They could have read the book during the time of the storm.
There you go. Because you talked about how eagles, they don't fly away
They
from
don't fly away from the storm. They look for a storm.
Come on now.
Give me a storm so I can
Right.
rest. Give me a storm to make my journey easy. I interrupted you, but go ahead.
Right.
I'm just
Sorry.
saying, go ahead.
He
It
was
was just
talking
great.
right.
I hope you guys tune in and watch that.
It's not too
It
late
was
because
so
it's
good.
still on his
Yes,
page.
It's
I
still
said,
on my
go
page.
on his
Still
Facebook
on
and
his
watch
page.
that message. It was so needed. And the biggest point that I just carried from that is that the storms are seasonal, y'all.
They're seasonal.
They're seasonal.
They don't come to stay, they come to
They're
pass.
seasonal.
I'm telling you, I told the storm.
Jeremiah, look at your cousin. Why does your cousin keep trying to sing? You know, and if she can sing that well, how come you haven't used her in your backup singing? That's what I want to know.
I know
You
my
hear your
calling.
cousin? How come you haven't used her in your backup singers?
I know my calling. Love you, brother.
Listen, not only that, but then I've got on the right of me
Mm-hmm.
one word, one name,
go.
one mic. You know who it is. Josiah. Yes,
Hey,
yeah.
good morning, everybody. Hey, WBGR family, good morning to you all, and to Facebook and YouTube. When I tell you all, we are excited to be here. We're excited. We are extremely excited, and we're grateful because, you know, just the platform to be able to share, to encourage, to empower you all, it's always a blessing to us. It's not just to give to you all, but we also receive what we're sharing. And it's an amazing thing because we've been on this station for over a year. God has blessed us with the connection to be connected with the owner, the proprietor of WBGR,
The man, the
Mr.
CEO.
Lionel Green.
Yes.
And he has, I mean, I'm telling you all, if you all are not connected, I'm going to be reaching out to some of you all because you guys got to be connected to this station. This station is doing some amazing things. You know, people say, I can't believe it until I see it. Where you about to go see some things because it's already happening.
It's already
It's
not
happening.
getting ready to happen. It's already happened.
It's already happening. It's something that's in store. The way that you're seeing us now, you're not going to see us like this coming soon. So I suggest for you to tap with and connect with WBGR, but then also connect with Back to Basic Eyes of Faith broadcast.
You got to do it.
What we've been doing, for those who may not know, is that this broadcast, Eyes of Faith, Back to Basics, we literally just give you some basic principles and teachings coming from the Word of God, but relating to real life issues. And we are real people. Real people.
Very
and we've
real.
gone through some things, some real issues, and we're just sharing our experiences and connecting it with the Word. And we hope that it's helping you. So it's not just for a specific gender or age group, it's for everybody. That's why I'm going to encourage you all to swipe right on Facebook and
Please share
this. On YouTube, we encourage you all to copy this and share this because this is helping everybody, generations. You know, we had did a thing a couple of months ago.
That's right.
As it relates to family,
Dealing with that family curse.
matters, and as you all see, as far as the title, we've been dealing with family dysfunctions, and we're just trying to bring some unity where there's a lot of division.
That's it.
And that's our purpose of being on here, and you know what we're doing. We're connected, and we're dealing with some things. So we want to connect your families, and it's the beginning of the year, so why not make that a vision and a goal for your family?
Might as well do it.
Might as well. So, hey, look, if you all have not connected with Pastor Sturtevant, he alluded to it real quick, briefly, with his books, but I know some of you all, y'all wish y'all could have it, and y'all be trying to figure out, like, why I can't get excited when they talk about it, because you don't have it.
You don't have the
You
book.
can obtain his books. You can
get
go
it.
to his personal webpage. If you haven't been on his page, please go to it.
What's the hold up?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening. www.dysfunction, J.E. Sturdivant Ministries.
STRIES.
.com. Again, www.JESturdivantMinistries.
STRIES.
When you go on there, you'll see his books. You'll see him talking about the books. You'll see him in his sermons. You'll see everything in the know and now of J.E. Sturdivant. Please go on there, purchase the books. We'll ship it out to you. We'll pay for the cost.
I'll eat the cost.
He will eat it.
I'll eat the cost.
We're not eating right now, but he will
We're
eat the
not eating,
cost.
but I'll eat the cost. That's the closest thing I got to food right now. Is I'll eat the cost. If you get it, listen, go on and just get it. Get it. Look, if you get them today, if you buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's 6 books, get them today. Buy them today only. Today only. Because I did a Christmas special where if you bought 5, I would give you the last one free. But today only, if you buy 4, I'll give you 2 free.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
I wasn't even ready for that one. I'm looking like what's about to happen.
Yeah. If you buy 4 of the books,
wow.
The cost of 4, I'll give you the other 2 for free.
Right.
Today only.
Right. And one book is only $15.
$15.
That's you can't beat that.
You can't beat it.
Please, if you go on his website or if you're not, technology savvy, that's a good deal. You're gonna get your 4?
I'm gonna get them. Yeah.
See,
and then I'll get
see,
6,
see, and you can do that.
There we go.
God bless
We are the world.
Look at Steph trying to. See, they are only $15 a piece. I see you, Ty Crawford. They're only $15 a piece. If you're not technology savvy and you say, hey, I can't go to the website, then please contact me, Janice, and I can get that to you. My phone number, the church number is 301-736-2383.
Call the number right now.
301-736-2383.
Well, maybe not now because we're here.
301-736-2383. Call me and I'll get you those 6 books. You buy 4, you get the 2 free. Good for you.
I'm just trying to do something, trying to get it in their hands, I'm just trying to do something to get it in their hands. No one can have a reason or an excuse. I'm going to call this my
what's that?
My government shutdown blessing.
Oh, yeah, you know what?
Because people they're really strapped, So one of my sons, Pastor Marcus Barber, he was working through the furlough. Then he told me last night, he said, they sent me the letter, told me, go home, I can no longer work, and send my paperwork in.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's a high-ranking somebody in the Census Bureau, but now they've sent him home as well.
Yeah, it's affecting a lot of us.
It's affecting people. So I want to just try to get something in you to get you some encouragement and things of that nature. I saw my friend, Pastor Steve Fitz, you came on. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you for coming on. My daughter, Gwen Thompson, is there. Saw my cousin, Ty Crawford, on there. Thank you so much. I saw RCCG in Utah in there. Pastor Finney Ojo. That's my son. He is there. He is on. And I appreciate that. You must not be working, man. If you are on, you must not be working. But he's close friends with the mayor and everything up there.
Between now and Utah.
It's not that much time.
Not that much time? Okay.
But he's friends with the mayor there, so he might have some kind of when I was there ministering, the mayor came for the services.
Nice.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But then you must be doing something.
No. They came because of him. But everybody that's on, I so appreciate it, and I thank you so very, very much for doing that. I want to shout out Coy, the comedian, that is doing everything on the other side of the screen, making sure that everything is going well. I thank him so very, very much. And listen, we have one of the things that this snowstorm did was it kind of made you be stuck with some people. You might have been stuck with some people you hadn't planned on being stuck with. Mm-hmm. And it winds up making you realize certain things about relationships and things of that nature, that you might need to work on when it's not a blizzard or things of that nature. And you might have to kind of rethink some relationships. So what we've been dealing with over the past few weeks, we've been talking about the dysfunction in the family and family dysfunction. And we gave a commercial. And by the way, that was a major commercial that WBGR put out about us. I was watching it on Instagram. I said, look at us getting the shout out.
It was pretty cool.
I said, I like that, but that's just the beginning
of
what's about to happen. That's all it is. It's just the beginning.
They're not even following WBGR on social media.
You've got to follow WBGR on Instagram, and you've got to follow WBGR Gospel Network or WBGR Entertainment on Facebook. You've got to follow. There are some things that are popping that are jumping jumping off, and you all need to get involved with it right now. They're doing audiobooks. They're doing everything.
Everything.
And this next thing that's about to happen, you know, just get used to us right now. But when this next thing happens, we're going to be doing something.
You gonna wish.
We're going to be in there. Y'all going to say, oh, man, I wish I would have gotten on a commercial with him when he was on that. But now it's going to be hurting you because we're on our way somewhere. But we appreciate you. Thank you so much, Pat Ruffin, for coming on. So, listen, we've been talking about this, what they did on the commercial. We typically we're going to be talking about the functioning in spite of the dysfunction within the family. And one of the things that we have been doing over the past few weeks is we have been talking about how just because there are dysfunctions in the family does not mean that there cannot be good things that happen. And one of the things that we have been purposing to do when we did, in the latter part of last year, we did a Family Matters conference, is that Janice introduced something that she has been doing over the past 5 or 6 years, taking it into the high schools. She's been in Central High School. She was in Wise. What was the other high school?
Yeah, Wise High School. It's been a couple of them. I can't even remember.
And then she was in teen girl shelters and everything, helping them to get a focus
Absolutely.
or a vision for their lives. The Bible says something, and it's very, very powerful. It says that where there is no vision, where there is no open revelation, it says the people perish. It means where people don't have a goal for where they want to be, when they have no idea for where they want to go, it says that they cease to be disciplined. One translation says. Another translation says they cast off restraints. They get out of bounds. They get out of line. They get away from what they are supposed to be doing. And so that you all don't think I'm making it up, would you please read this for me, Steph, in Proverbs chapter number 29, verse 18. Proverbs 29, verse 18. What does that say again?
Where there is no revelation.
Where there is no bigger picture, where nothing has been revealed, where there's not a bigger view of what you plan on doing. Go ahead.
The people cast off restraint.
The people cast off restraint. That means they throw off all inhibitions. They break outside of the boundaries. They have no parameters. They're not stuck within where they want to go. And we've been sharing over and over and over again that many people don't really even have a vision. And the bad part about it is that people don't even have a vision for their family. No vision for the family. No vision for the family. I wrote down a couple of things and I want to drop something in your hearing because I'm going to be talking a little bit about a family that kind of had a situation that's in Genesis. You know, I told you all before, I don't say Genesis, I say Genesis because it's talking about the gene or the DNA or the molecular makeup or the origin or the amoeba of a thing. But in Genesis, you're going to see somewhere around starting around chapter number 24 and coming on up to when you get to chapter number 27. And I'm going to talk about it a little bit before I get into it. And you're going to see that there must be a vision for family. Now, I want to start by saying a couple of things, and my daughters are going to chime in. And anybody who's watching for the first time, these are my daughters, so I'm extremely excited to have them on here, not just to be my cohorts and co-hosts, but there must have been something somewhere along the way that I didn't mess up enough on that they still believe I actually know something. You know, so they're like, yeah, you know.
No, you good.
So I wrote down something, and that is that many at best may have a plan for who they want to be involved with. Possibly they have a plan for how many children they may want to have, if any. Most people just say, I wasn't planning on getting pregnant. This was an accident. I ain't planning on getting pregnant. Let me just say something. If you're not using any form of protection, you planned on getting pregnant. If you didn't use any protection and you're having sex, you planned on it. You know, whether you meant to or not, you planned on it. So many at best may have a plan for who they want to be involved with. I like, you know, Tony. I like Shafriqua. You know, you got an idea of who you want to be with. And some people really want to be with certain people. I'll talk about this in one of my other shows, based on the fact that I want to have good-looking kids. So I get with this person because I think they can be good-looking kids with me or whatever the case may be. But not many people, before they get into a relationship to make a family, have actually done research on the individual, have done research on themselves, have done research on family histories. My brother up there in Connecticut, James Nance, good to see you, man of God. They've not done any research on that. They've not done research on background of the person that they are with to see if there's anything, in Nigeria, before when someone comes and talks to the family and says, I want to marry so-and-so and so-and-so, the elders will say, come back to us in a certain number of weeks. Right. Well, the reason why the elders do that is because they want to check the background of that young man, not his finances, not any of that. They want to check his background to see if there's anybody that's crazy, if there's anybody that's got mental issues, because their belief is if there is mental instability in the bloodline, there is a possibility that mental instability are going to be in this connection, because mental instability or whatever, they're believing is that it's something that comes down through the blood. And that if that's in your bloodline, we've got to do something before this relationship comes together to stop that from coming through this current relationship. Now, most of us, we don't even do anything. Pastor Marvin, good to see you on, man. Most of us don't really do any research about the person's background. We might say, how much money do they make? What's their credit score? They got any sexually transmitted diseases? Right. How many baby mamas they got? How many baby daddies they got? We do that kind of stuff. But we don't really get into what's their spiritual upbringing. What's happening with them demonically? What's going on with them based on the things that we cannot see? How many nervous breakdowns have they had? How much psychosis problems do they have? And we don't have anything, because even a crazy person, and I don't mean that term in an offensive way, but a person who is off can look stable for some time. You can have people that are functionally demonic possessed. Because the devil can look sane for a while. If you don't believe it, ask Judas. So it is important that you do some deeper research. And most people have never done any further research. I just think she cute. Oh, he got a six-pack. She banging, that booty banging. And we get caught up in the superficial stuff and never get involved in anything that is deeper, and then try to wonder why, or figure out, why did my child have this? Or some men will back away if the child has any problems, start saying, well, I don't create these types of children. I don't make babies that got problems, so this must not be mine. Nope, because no research was done to see how compatible people were, not just in do we have banging sex, but the question is, what do you all have happening with you spiritually? What do you have happening with you health-wise? What is going on with you mentally? What is happening in your family? Was there domestic violence in your upbringing? Because you may be wanting to get married to escape domestic violence from your upbringing, but the individual that you're getting with may have come from a background of domestic violence. And so you're jumping, as the old folk would say, out of the frying pan into the fire. So there must be some research that is done. And so many people, because they have not really gotten a vision, they have no vision for their family. What's the vision? Here it is. Because most people never really had a vision. And remember, where there is no vision, the people perish. They cast off restraint. So if I never had a vision for family, the moment that I get married or get into a relationship and it starts going sideways, what do? Well, I didn't have a vision for it, so I get out of it. I divorce. What is divorce? It is now when you get the word, because you said where there is no vision. So you said you did a vision board and everything, but where there is no vision, or where there is duo vision, duo means die. Division means something that is now separated. So where there is division, there can be divorce. There can be a breaking up of the relationship. We are no longer walking as one. And most people have no vision for their family. And I want to say something to them. I have my daughters to say something, because I always put down rules, laws, guidelines, and that's really all a vision is that there are rules, laws, guidelines for the house, for the family, for the children, for the people that are in the family. So here it is. Many people don't have a vision for their family because they've never established where they want the family to go. They've only known they wanted to have something maybe other than what they had when they grew up. Or as it was with I tell people over and over again, when I got married, my wife and I got married to get out of our parents' house. That was not a good vision. But we tried to make it work, but it was difficult. Because all we planned on doing was getting out of our parents' house. There was no discussion of fidelity. There was no discussion of faithfulness. There was no discussion of communication. There was no discussion of roles that each would play. There was no discussion about what each other was expecting. All we wanted to do was get married. And after we got married, then we wanted to try to have, well, we didn't want to have a family. We were pregnant within the first month of the marriage. And so you're now trying to fix a thing while you're in the thing when you never had a vision for the thing in the first place. And that is what's going on right now in many people's relationships. You know what you want to get into, but are you trying to get into it because of what you're trying to get out of? Are you trying to get into it for the same reason as the person that you're getting into it with? Or is this just something that is happening because my biological clock is ticking? I've always wanted to be married. I've always wanted to be a husband. I've always wanted to be a wife. I've always wanted to have children. That is not a vision. That is a desire. Well, we had desire for food until he went on a fast. Then suddenly the desire for food left. Desire is not enough. The Bible says in Ecclesiastes, it says the time will come when men's desires will fail. Meaning that the very desire that you have will leave you. Certain things cannot continue to last. And so it is important that you have a vision for your family. So now, what is it? What is it that makes us not really establish a vision? I've already told you that many people just get into the relationship because they're trying to get out of something, or their clock is ticking, or they want to have something. I just wanted something to love. That's why I got pregnant. That's not a good reason. Because if you've never come up in an atmosphere where love was what was demonstrated, then now you're bringing in something that you're going to give something that you never got. You cannot give or feed out of something that you've never eaten. You cannot breastfeed out of something that's not in your bosom. And so you're now making and creating more dysfunction because you have not had a proper picture before you. So what happens? Many people, y'all want to say anything? Because I'm going kind of good. I was going to stop in a minute, but you want to say anything on that? Because you do the vision board and stuff, and you've talked about how, your picture of love is different because of the type of love that you came from in your family. So, what y'all want to say anything before I go on? Because I'm on this thing.
But when you think about vision, a lot of times it's kind of hard to have a vision when you don't really know the purpose of your existence.
Wait a minute.
And I think that ties into vision because even for whether it's a vision for your own personal life or a vision for your family or a vision for relationships, the common denominator, whether it's you, your family, your relationships, your coworkers, the common denomination is you.
Absolutely.
You're the one. And if you don't know what your purpose is for your life, then having a vision for your life or for your family or for your relationships is going to be hard because you don't even know where you fit in for yourself. And that's one of the things, even with working with young people or just working with people, period, is that it's kind of hard to see where I want to be when I don't know who I am. And it's a thing that's so needed because we don't take the time to figure out who we are.
Right.
We don't take the time to figure out what we want.
Right.
We don't take the time to figure out where I want to be. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know why am I here on earth.
Yeah.
Why was I created? And so I end up falling into other people's visions for my lives or other people's purpose because I didn't never establish something that I wanted for myself. So I think it's very important, even as far as just this first month of the year, establish your purpose. We've been listening to teachings in our ministry from Dr. Miles Monroe, and he's been teaching
Lord
as it
God.
relates to just your purpose. And when you discover why God created you, and it's so simple to discover, all you have to do is just seek God.
That's it.
If you seek God and spend time with him, he will tell you, okay, this is why I created you.
Yep.
This is your purpose. So you won't be feeling like you're wasting time, or you won't be feeling like I'm doing the same thing every month,
Absolutely.
the same cycle. I'm not accomplishing anything, and that will lessen a lot of frustration.
Yeah, oh my God,
It
it
will
will.
lessen a lot of disappointments. And when you have purpose, you have a focus.
Absolutely.
See, when I have a focus, I now know if I'm trying to get a house by the end of this year,
Right.
I now have a focus on I need to start budgeting. I can't go out as much.
Absolutely.
I can't spend as much money. There's certain things that I won't be doing because my focus is to do this. Once you have a purpose, you have a focus, and then your vision becomes clear.
And you know, people misunderstand because purpose is defined as purpose is the reason for which something exists
Absolutely.
or is done.
Absolutely.
If you know your purpose, why do I exist?
Mm-hmm.
If I know why I exist, then that's going to eliminate certain things that I would have done.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
that's not
right.
going to be it. So your purpose is knowing the reason why a thing exists
Mm-hmm.
or why a thing is done. That's your purpose. The Bible says it this way. It says in Romans chapter number 8, verse 28, Romans 8, verse 28, it says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God and to those that are the called according to his purpose, which means that he has a purpose for your life. I mean, before you were even born, and I've told this over and over again, in Jeremiah chapter number 1, verse 4 and 5, Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 4 and 5, he said this to Jeremiah. Jeremiah was saying, oh, I'm young, I'm just barely 20 years old, I can hardly speak, I can't do what you're calling me to do. And God said to this, he said, listen, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you, and I ordained you a prophet to the nations. I've already got a plan for you, and it has global impact written all over it. He didn't even have a small vision for him. And that was why that same Jeremiah had the ability to say in Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11, after he had matured a little bit, he said this. He says, God says, for I know the thoughts that I think towards you. Thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and an expected end, or a future and a hope. So once you know purpose, and you were very, very key. I just taught this last night, so it sounds like you were in my ministries class. I just taught it last night. I said that if you do not have a vision for your life, somebody will make you a part of the vision for their life. And you'll mess around because you haven't learned how to say no. You'll mess around, and then later on, after they've accomplished what they wanted to accomplish as far as you were concerned, they kick you to the side. You're like, I can't believe they did that. I can't believe they used me after all this time. I can't believe they just took what I had and just kicked me to the curb. What kind of person is that? What kind of person is that? I got to get my characters outfits, but I'm waiting to bring that on. But that's what people want to do. And it's really, you're mad at someone because they had a vision for you that you didn't have for yourself. Come on, Steph, talk to him, please, baby.
Just to be transparent, I feel like growing up in a divided family, it just kind of gave me a foundation of division, period.
Come on.
I mean, my mom could have had one vision for me, my dad could have had one vision for me, and then my grandmother could have had one vision for me.
Wow.
And then putting those all together, like, I feel like growing up, that's how I lived my life. I had so many paths, like, I didn't know which one to choose. And then I just
that's so good.
ended up having, like, this free spirit because it was just like, I can just go wherever. I can either do this because I've seen this over here. I could do this because I've seen this over here. And it's just, I think as parents and just any type of guardian, when you're raising someone, make sure collectively you guys have a vision for that child or for, you know, that seed, because it makes a difference.
That is so good because that's just because a man and a woman, a mother and a father may not be together does not mean that there cannot be a vision for co-parenting.
Exactly.
There has got, because the society we live in, it's just, you don't always have, you know, the traditional picture. But that does not mean that there cannot be a function within the dysfunction if everybody decides we're going to be on the same page. And I love what you just now said, because, you know, the way you said that kind of pointed to something, you know, because that means that when you were with your grandmother, there was a set of rules. When you was with your mother, there was a set of rules. When you were with your father, there was a set of rules. And so if you didn't like the rules of your grandmother, you could go to your father, where he might have just been trying to be your friend because whatever, you know, or I could go to my mother because I knew that she would give me whatever, or I could go to my grandmother because I knew so what that winds up doing is it makes you not really have any boundaries, beautifully put. It makes you a free spirit, but it also makes you wind up saying, I will live my life going wherever I'm tolerated. Wherever I'm tolerated. Wherever I can get my way. Wherever I can have what I want from whoever I want, that's where I will go. And you know, that even affects how we would even interact with God. Because if God is saying, these are the rules, wait a minute. I've never had to have strict rules. I had any place I could go. Now God is saying, no, I am the way. Well, you know what? I'm just going to go on and do the devil's way because I don't like these rules. And you said as a guardian, we have got to establish some guidelines, some parameters, some ways that we want to see our family, our children go. If there is no vision, and here's the thing. The Bible says in Habakkuk chapter number 2, verse 2 and 3, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2 and 3, it says that the vision is for an appointed time. You've got to write the vision, make it plain, put it on tablets. You've got to put it out there, because if you don't write it down, do you really have a vision, or are you just hoping? I'm just hoping. I'm a hoping and a praying. That's how so many people are. I'm just a hoping and a praying. And somehow, this ain't magic. This ain't magic.
Right.
You've got to have a plan. So it is important that you now have the ability to develop a vision. What is a vision? Vision is the act or the power of anticipating that which may come to pass. In other words, it's what I have anticipation for. And as Janice put it so very, 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 very profoundly, is that once you have that vision and purpose for your life, it makes you budget differently. You know, your vision makes you know who's not supposed to be your friend. Yep. They may be nice, but are they good for where I am going? And if they're not, you're not a bad person. You're just not good for me. Your vision will help you. If you've got a vision for having a car, your vision will then make you not, as you stated, spend money so frivolously. If you're trying to get a house, it'll make you be disciplined. If you're trying to do certain things, listen, if your vision is, I want to keep my body and give it to my wife or to my husband, that'll make you not accept every booty call that comes in. You just won't accept the booty calls. It's like, I know what this call is. Did he say booty call on this broadcast? Yes, I said it. I said it. It will cause you to be disciplined in various areas where you thought you didn't have to be disciplined. When you've got a vision for something, it'll make you brown bag your lunch or Tupperware your lunch, whichever way it is, but you won't spend the money. You'll realize that the amount that you are paying for the sandwich, the honey bun, the chips, and the soda are actually what you could spend for lunch meat, bread, and some Huggies for the entire week. Did I say Huggies? You know, those little
squeezable juices.
Yeah, I mean.
What's funny, guys, let me just say this, because Steph and I, we're working with my father. We're working out with him. And we was joking with him this past weekend, because you know, we see our body changing. We see the results that we're looking for as far as exercising. We've been exercising with him, and you know, he's a good trainer. When I tell you all, he will push you beyond. And that's, I'm telling you, he has a vision for us that we didn't have for ourselves.
I promise you.
He will push you beyond what you think you can handle. So Steph and I, we was like, we're good. We think we're good now. We comfortable in how we looking. And you know, he's like, no, I want you all to, you know, to get a little bit more tone. And Steph and I, we like, no, I think we okay. We okay. We feel good.
Nah.
But and he's like, no, you know, we gotta do certain things. And we would laugh and joke about that. But it's funny because, you know, when you connect with somebody that believes in you.
So good. That's good.
That believes in you. And sometimes you may have a vision for yourself, and it doesn't slight your own vision, but then having somebody who sees something greater than you or greater for you, it pushes you beyond what you originally had set for yourself. Right now, I feel like I'm good. Like, I feel like I'm, you know, in good shape. But he says, you know what? I think you'll look a little better if you do this. So now we're changing our diet. We're changing what we put inside of us. And so him being a motivational coach for us, having a vision for us, pushes us beyond what we see for ourselves. So it's good to also have somebody to connect with you as far as having a greater vision for you.
That was so good. And when you said that, it made me look at this passage of scripture. When you look at Isaiah chapter number 54, begin at verse number 1, because it's going to come down to where I want to do it. Okay. Isaiah chapter 54. You all say Isaiah, but in Nigeria we say Isaiah. So it's Isaiah 54 verse 1. Isaiah 54, beginning at verse 1. Somebody needs to put that down on the screen. Keep it for yourself. Isaiah 54, verse 1. And when I give you scriptures, write them down. Go back and read them for yourself. It'll help you. Go ahead, read that for me, please, Josiane.
Sing, O barren.
This is powerful. It says, the individual who has not done anything, who has not produced anything, who doesn't have a dream that has come forth, who has not given birth, it says, you start singing.
Right.
You ought to have a song. If you've got an empty womb, you ought to have more space to sing.
I know that's right.
He says, sing, O barren. What does that mean? He's changing your perspective on being barren or empty. See, if you are barren or empty, that means that this is an area that has not yet had any problems, any struggles with giving birth, and now it's got more room for something to give birth. I'm challenging anybody. Maybe your dream has not happened. Maybe your vision has not happened. Maybe it has not happened in 2018, 2017, 2016. But I'm telling you, for 2019, start singing like you're going to get it. Why? Because 2019, 2019, 9, the last number in this new year. 9 is the number in the course of life for birthing. Remember, after 9 months, a woman gives birth. So 9 is the number of manifestation in the Bible. It is the number of something hidden being revealed. So I'm telling you, in this first month of this new year, start singing like you are expecting. That's what happens when a woman is pregnant and nothing hasn't shown up yet. She is expecting. So if you are expecting this year, it says to do what again, Josiane?
Sing. So I should be singing.
Yeah.
You ought to be
Be
singing.
singing.
You better be singing,
So-
but not on my show.
I got that revelation.
Yeah, but not on this show. Talk to Mr. Lionel Green and tell him you want your own show
Just for
on
singing.
the entertainment
singing.
on the entertainment network. Not on the gospel, on the entertainment side of it.
The
you know.
Bible says sing.
Yeah, it did, but it didn't say sing on Back to Basics Eyes of Faith radio broadcast.
Sing, O barren,
Right.
you who have not born.
Uh-huh.
Break forth into singing.
Not just sing,
Break forth.
planning, but break
Break
forth.
forth.
Meaning that there ought to be a song in you that's not planned.
Yeah.
My expectation makes me bring forth something that this is not a thing I rehearsed, I planned for. My expectation is going to come. The Bible says in Isaiah 43, it says that we aren't supposed to remember the former things, nor the things of old. It says, behold, he's going to do a new thing. And it says, now it shall spring forth. So it's the same concept in Isaiah 54 that we saw in Isaiah 43, verse 18 and 19. You have got to now have the ability that I don't see nothing. There's been no manifestation, but my expectation. I am expecting. And so I start singing what I'm expecting. By the end of this year, I'll have my house. You know, you have to go ahead and start breaking it out. By the end of this year, go ahead and start saying, put a time frame on your song. By July, I promise you, you know.
I'm liking it.
You liking that?
Yeah,
You know what? You're going to start.
She gonna start doing it.
Yep.
Just walking down the aisle.
Yeah, do it, but don't do it in church. Don't do it in church.
Everywhere.
No.
Yeah, in the grocery store.
Right. And people gonna be videotaping saying, watch this. And y'all gonna be going viral.
Right, no problem.
And then the next thing you know, you're gonna go so viral, then Ellen put you on your show. You're gonna say, see,
Absolutely.
it happened.
Yeah.
Great
How did
expectation.
it start? Well, you know, we was on a broadcast and we was reading the Bible in Isaiah chapter 54, verse 1.
Go on, read this. I want y'all to get this because it's going to show you something about when you have vision. Go ahead, please.
You who have not labored with child,
You who have not even gone through labor pains or anything, go ahead.
for more are the children of the desolate.
In other words, the one who has nothing to show for anything, they will show more manifestation. More are the children of the desolate. Go ahead.
than the children of the married.
In other words, you're going to get more without flesh because a married person has flesh helping them.
Yeah.
He says more are going to be the productivity. More is going to be the manifestation of the one that's got God helping them than the one that's got flesh helping them.
Wow.
There are some people who have built their whole life based on, I'm going to be friends with this person because this person can help me. They got some money. Ooh, he got money. You know, and you wind up getting with people because of what you think they can do for you. The record is, no, the one that's going to have the most productivity is the one that's got God helping them than the one that's got flesh helping them. Where's your confidence? Who's your hope in? Who are you looking to? Who are you looking for to get you through this next season? You know, if I just stay friends with Janice, I know she's about to blow up, and then I can go ahead and be no. Well, Dr. Miles Monroe said something. He said, whoever you have faith in, you are only as strong as that person's faith. He said that's why when you get getting married and saying I do is not about love, it's about faith. Yeah. You are believing, but your faith should not be in the person that you're saying I do to. Your faith should be in the God of that individual, because if your faith is in the God of that individual, then even if that individual flunks, your faith in God did not fail, and you know that God has the ability to straighten that person back up again. Absolutely. That's why many of us don't really work or it doesn't last when it comes to marriage, because if you ever are unfair, so you are already, number one, going in with the negative, and number two, putting your confidence in an individual who is flawed from the beginning. Right. And you know they're going to let you down. Mm-hmm. So you got to have a different perspective. Go ahead, please, daughter.
Enlarge the place of your tent.
Enlarge the place of your tent. Now, this is the woman who has not given birth.
Right.
Enlarge the place of your tent. Wait a minute, I'm barren. Right. I haven't born. I don't have a companion. Enlarge the place of your tent. You're not waiting until someone comes in your life to fulfill your dreams. Right. I'm messing with somebody now. You are not waiting for someone else to come into your life to fulfill your dreams. Take yourself to your own 5-star restaurant. Take yourself to your own movies. Get your own house. Get your own car. When I was in the house with my mother, all of my brothers and I, we were domestic. We know how to cook, clean, sew, iron. We did everything. My mother said, when you get married, I want you to marry for love, not because you need a maid. Yeah. So I didn't need anybody to come into my life to marry me because I needed a cook. I can cook. I needed somebody that could do for me what I can't do for myself. See, the mistake that many of us make is that we don't do any of the things that we want to do, and then we have expectation for whoever we get in the life with for them to do what we never did. Listen, get your own car so that you're not dependent on somebody else. Get your own credit score up to where it's supposed to be. Get your own money. Do your own thing so that you don't wind up coming back later saying, you ain't never done nothing for me. You ain't never give me nothing. No, it should be a partnership. Help meets, not codependency. It is supposed to be a help meet for one another, not a codependency on one another. And most people fail in marriage and in family because they never had a vision before they said, I do. Watch what it says here. It says, enlarge what?
The place of your tent. And let them stretch
Wait
out.
a minute. It says, you who have not born. Is that what it says?
Yes.
Then it says, more are the children of the desolate than the children of the married woman. Then it says, enlarge. Who enlarge? You enlarge. You learned it in English. Wherever there is not a subject, you is the subject understood. You enlarge the place of your tent. Is that right?
Yes.
Then what does it say?
And let them.
Wait a minute. Where them come from?
Right.
Where did them come from? See, once you establish certain things, once you establish your place of your dwelling, once you establish what you want to do, have your vision for your life, then them will come. People will come and be attracted to you to help you do what you do if they see you do it. People are not impressed with what you say you're going to do. People are impressed with you doing what you do. You know, I built my house. The first house I have is the house I was born in. I have that one. But then I built my other house. Someone asked me after I fixed up my first house, they said, why did you go ahead and build another house? Because I've got 4 children. And I had to let my 4 children see that a black man, because I had not seen it when I was growing up, that a black man had the ability to go out and from the ground floor build a house. I wanted to show my daughters what they could look for in a black man. Not somebody that was living out their mama's basement. What they could look for. I got certain vehicles so that my daughters and my sons could see that they could live a certain lifestyle and wouldn't have to sell drugs, didn't have to compromise, simply had to love God, live a life of faith, and they would wind up seeing the manifestation of the very things that they were believing for. And so I had to do that, not for me, but I had to do it for my family. I had to let them see something. And so I found out that when you start doing things like that, you set up pictures. You have to do something. So now, when I got ready to build the house, here's what they told me. I went and talked to the people, the financiers, and they said, show us the blueprint of what you're going to do. Now, I already said what I wanted, but they were not going to loan me the money to get it done until I first had written out. I had to hire someone to draw the picture because all I had was a piece of land with wood sitting on it. You remember we used to go by there and look at the trees. And I would show you the blueprint of what the house was called, the Sturtevant. This is what it's going to look like. And all y'all was looking at was trees. I think y'all just enjoyed driving over there, you know, because it was getting out of the city, you know, and you saw the blueprint of what it was going to be. What was the bank funding? The bank was not funding my thoughts. The bank was not funding my speech. The bank was funding my written out vision that was drawn on paper of what the house was going to look like when it was finished. That's why we said you have to write the vision. Habakkuk 2, verse 2 and 3. It now says that when you start doing what you have to do, when you enlarge the place of your tent, when you start expanding where you are, then the them are going to come. Right. What does it say about them?
And let them stretch out the curtains.
Wait a minute. Let them stretch out the what?
The curtains.
What do curtains do? Curtains are normally what keeps the sunlight out or makes you unable to see outside of a window. Right. But when it says let them do what?
Stretch out the curtains.
In other words, it's saying there will be people that will come into your life that will now make your vision broader. That will now make your vision bigger. It will be more than even you imagine. Why? Because they saw your effort. They saw that you were putting some time in. They saw, as they say, you were putting in that work. And the moment that you start putting in that work, then people will come and assist you. One of my early mentors, the late Dr. John D. Bussey, he said to me one time, he said, Sturtevant, people are not going to help you if you're standing around saying, I need somebody to help me. He said, start doing the work, and then people will come and say, what are you doing? And the moment you start saying, I'm building this, I'm doing that, they say, do you need any help? Why? Because they see that you're doing it, and you may be going at it alone. And it might not be the people that you want to help you, but somebody will come along that will assist you. Let them do what?
Let them stretch out the curtains of your dwellings.
And what?
Do not spare.
I'm telling somebody for 2019, don't dummy down your vision. Did you hear what I just now said? Don't dummy down your vision. I'm gonna try it one more time. Don't dummy down your vision. And for some of you who have just been kind of like just living and doing and saying, well, I hope it work out. Listen, God asked me to tell somebody. He asked me to simply just say to you, and that is this: blow the dust off your dream and get your vision out of the vacuum. Amen. Say it again. Blow the dust off your dream and get your vision out of the vacuum. I know you've had some things that didn't happen in 2018, 2017, 2016. I know that you've had some things that didn't go right. The money wasn't there. Maybe it was the wrong time. Now with the current presidency, you're thinking there's no way it can happen. I'm here to tell you today that this is still the season when if you go ahead and put forth the effort, start doing it. Start doing it. Don't wait. There's never going to be a convenient time. I'm waiting for times to get better. Times ain't going to get no better. You've got to do it in spite of the time. You have got to go ahead and do it, even if nobody else is doing it. Listen, if everything is shutting down, that's the right time for you to go and look at some property. Buildings are closing, businesses are closing. That means that now the property is available. You have an opportunity. You probably could not have afforded it before. It's an amazing thing, the building that we are currently in right now. The way that I was able to get that building was because it had been abandoned for 2 years. It had been abandoned for 2 years. It was looking like it was not going to be running. They're coming stolen the copper pipes out of it and everything. It was an abandoned building. I wound up getting the building for my offer that I made to them and not what they were asking for. Why? Because it had been sitting and nothing had been happening. You've got to take advantage of things and not look for confirmation from people. Listen, I heard somebody send me this on social media, and I'm giving it to you right now. Do not take constructive criticism from people who have never built anything. You cannot take constructive criticism from people who have never built anything. most people are getting destructive criticism because there's somebody who is trying to destroy your dream, destroy your desire. Why? Because misery loves company, and they don't want to see you go up. That is why you've got to be careful when you've got a vision of people who don't have a vision, who become leeches and ticks. A tick is something I learned about when I was down the country, Louisiana County, Virginia. A tick, we had a dog down there named Knox, Knox, and Knox would have a dish in front of his dog house. I had a dog house for him. I had a dish for him where he could have his food in, have his water in. I had him tied to a tree with a rope. I had a collar, a leather collar around his neck, and I had a blanket inside of his doghouse. And Knox had a house, he had a blanket, he had a dish for his food, a dish for his water, he had a rope around his neck that gave him parameters to run around in the yard. I would clean up his mess, I did everything, I bought his food, all of that stuff. But there was a stray dog that didn't belong to nobody. And that stray dog would come over to Knox, and Knox would play with that stray dog while he was tied up. And at night, that stray dog came by, chewed the rope off of Knox so that Knox was able to get free. When Knox got free, Knox went running out in the woods. He got into a fight with a skunk that he didn't do too well in. He came back stinking. He did all of that. I had to wash and clean him in tomato paste and tomato juice, and then I had to check him getting up under his ears, because when he went out in the woods, up underneath his ears, under his testicles, underneath the nap of his arm, underneath his hair, there were ticks. Small reddish brown little blood suckers that got up under him, and they would suck the blood out of him. The tick, if he went undetected, he would wind up sucking blood till he got fat. When he got fat, he would then roll off of him and then let all of his life be lived off of the blood of whoever he was sucking. And then after he had eaten all of that blood, he would then go back and find something else he could latch on to. But I would check Knox to pull the ticks off, and then I would put them in gasoline and set them on fire. Well, some people are like ticks. While you've got a house, you've got a blanket, you've got food, you've got water, you've set your parameters and your boundaries, you are already being taken care of. People who don't have what you have will want to come and loose you from what you are in, because you're out there running, as the Bible says in Jeremiah 2, like a wild ass on the loose. It's how Jeremiah says it. You'll be out there running around doing crazy stuff, and then the next thing you know, you come back with a bunch of ticks and parasites, people who have no goal, no dream, no desire, no destiny, no vision, and they will wind up sucking the life out of you. And now you can't go after your dream. You can't go after your vision. You can't go after your desire, because you're trying to figure out, how come I'm making money but I don't have any money? How come I've got a car but my car is always on E? It's because somebody else has come into your life and they're now sucking the life out of you, and then they'll try to make you feel bad if you say no. You'll say, no, I'm not doing that. Well, what's wrong with you? You got new. You got this. No, I got tired. I didn't get new. I didn't get uppity. I got tired. And as a result of getting tired, I've got to pick the ticks out of my life, and that may mean that you're lonely for a while. Can I tell you all what happened to the dog that used to chew off Knox's rope? My grandfather sat out there one night. We had a well in the ground with a great big cement cover on it. My grandfather took his rocking chair, sat out there on the well, rocking in the chair late at night, because he got tired of Knox doing that. He said, Jimmy? I said, yes, sir, Grandpa. He said, go get my shotgun. He had it up over top of the doorway in his bedroom, double-barrel shotgun with these red bullets in there. And he said, go get my shotgun. I said, went and got a shotgun. And Grandpa was sitting on the well, Knox tied up. I'm in the bedroom, because down the country, you go to bed at 8 o'clock. I was a kid. You go to bed at 8 o'clock. I'm in the bed. And all of a sudden, after I'm just starting to go to sleep, I hear, boom! My grandfather sat out there and waited for that dog to come and shot and killed him. I want to tell somebody, now don't call Peter on me. Don't start getting upset with me, animal rights and all that kind of stuff. I'm telling you what it was like in Louisiana County, Virginia. What did my grandfather do? Since my grandfather could not make Knox enjoy what he had, my grandfather had to get rid of the distractions. And there are some people that are merely distractions that you've got to get rid of. I'm not telling you to go and shoot nobody, sit up on the well or anything like that. I'm just telling you that there are some people in your life. Paul says, I reckon myself dead to sin. There are some things that you have got to be dead to, or else it'll kill you. As you know, I'm out of time. I promise you I'm not out of word. But you know what this is. You know who I is. I am Pastor J.E. Sturtevant. I'm pastor of Faith United Ministry, 7905 Fernham Lane in District Heights, Maryland. And this was Back to Basics, Eyes of Faith radio broadcast. Just bringing you some basic biblical principles to apply to your everyday life. But I got some people here with me. What's your name again? And you are?
I'm Janice.
And some people are on the air because they can afford to be on the air. Others are on the air because they like the way they sound on the air. But we've got a purpose. We're on the air because what?
We got something to say.
Say we got something to say. I told you we got something
to say.
God bless you. Thank you, WBGR. I said what I said. WBGR family, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Lionel Green. Thank you so much, my YouTube channel people. Thank you for coming on and staying on. Thank you, Facebook. I appreciate you. Please share it. Please share this. You have got to share this. You may just have some ticks, some parasites, some leeches, some vampires in your life that are sucking the blood and the life out of you. And that's why your family can't function. That's why we had to talk today about the dysfunction of the family. We love you. We appreciate you. Don't forget, later on this afternoon, I'll be back on again at 3 o'clock. And look, be blessed. You don't have a church home this year. Please come to a ministry, Faith United Ministries. We'll be happy to minister to you. Your life will be radically changed in Jesus' name. Thank you, my daughter, Talenthia. Thank you so much, Lisa Chu. Thank you, Gwen Thompson. Thank you, Pastor Dawn Mixon. I saw you on there. I appreciate all of y'all so very, very much.